Hi, I'm Stephen Hand and I'm running for Mayor of Onkaparinga. Today I want to talk to you about debt, in particular debt from Onkaparinga Council, $95 million worth. Now the council's got a plan. And the plan is that we're going to fix this problem by 2025. So in 2025 we're going to start running budgets that are surplus to start paying off this debt. In the meantime, we're going to keep racking up the debt. So next year, the budget is planned to be $123 million worth of debt. Now, the federal government, the state government's got a huge tradition of building debt. So growing the economy through building debt. So you can see the federal government has increased the debt right back from when Howard had zero debt, and we can argue that point because he sold off a whole bunch of assets to get us to zero debt. Now, the problem with debt is you've got to pay interest on debt. And debt, right now, interest rates are going up. So my personal interest rates are 6.7%, and that kicks me in the butt. Anyway, so we're all going to be paying more rates. Now, if you're going to take on debt, as in the council has, you want to have, in my opinion, have assets to back that up. Now, in which case you might have a flashy swimming pool, a flashy sports stadium, or maybe we've just built some offices for the council. But no, we haven't. We've just clocked up debt, which means we've spent more money than we've had come in on services. So that means future down the track people have to worry about it. So the future council worries about it, not the current one. So I'm like, thank you, the previous council that we just had, because now we're inheriting your debt. Thank you a lot for that. And now that occurs at the state level and the federal government because it means further down the track, someone's taxes have to pay for all this spending that we've had in the current time. Now, let's just think how big this debt is. 95 million. The Onkaparinga Council has 200 million coming in, so it's half of its revenue is in debt at the moment. So my business turns over 6 million a year, and that's equivalent of me having $3 million worth of debt. Would I like $3 million worth of debt? I absolutely would not. So I'm not for debt in the future. I'm not for the budget the way it is now. I'm for actually reducing debt. Now, the CEO of Onkaparinga Council said the $95 million worth of debt is not an issue. I disagree because it puts pressure on the community. It puts pressure on the council, and we don't need pressure. We certainly don't need pressure with our rates going up, which was one option. How to fix this problem, increase the rates. Look, I think people are doing it tough. There's been a massive cause of inflation. So cost of food's going up, petrol's going up, cost of used cars is going up, the cost of everything's going up. And generally your bottom line is that you haven't had wage increases, so this is hurting your bottom line. Now some people can afford this, and that's good for them. But there's a whole bunch of people in our community, I think this is going to hurt. So I'm all for reducing our debt and doing it straight away. So that means looking at our expenses and seeing how we can reduce them. So that's my plan. So we have 12 councillors on the council. They would have to agree to either keep the budget the way it is or relook at it. So as a mayor, you don't have a vote, but my preference would be for running the budget in surplus. So I'm paying off our debt and reducing our pressure on ourselves, but it would also be for seeking funding from the state government for our area, because I think our area is very underfunded by the state government. I think we're very ignored. Now this might all be in my head, but I just don't think down south we get our fair share of funding given to us. I think if you look at what is given to marginal seats, where both sides of politics probably have to worry about them a little bit more, like they seem to get a fair bit of funding. We compose of 10% of the state, so you'd expect 10% of the funding comes down south, and that clearly does not occur. So that's one area I want to address as mayor, making sure we get our fair share of all that money that's thrown around in this state, federally and state-based. and yeah, our residents are looked after, because at the moment I think we are very much ignored, because we're very, very, very safe seats for the Labor Party. And I'm not saying which side of politics you vote on, but it'd be really nice if our local members of parliament went into their leader and said, look, we need some funding down south for major projects, because we feel like we've been ignored down south. That would be great. It'd be great to get the support of our local members of parliament for projects, and them to go into bat for Onkaparinga. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand and I'm running for mayor. I don't support increasing our debt levels at state, federal or council level. I'm for keeping rates in check, and as our previous mayor said, we haven't had a rates increase, but when I looked at my rates notice, my rates notices, they've certainly gone up. And it could be because you'd say, well, your value of your properties have gone up, Stephen. And yes, they have gone up. But that's only due to the inflation that we've all been seeing, because there's lots of money now in this system, because there's all this money being given away. So everything's going up. Does it make me richer that my house is now worth more? Well, it kind of does, but I can't buy a house of more value than I've currently got, because that's still one house, if that makes any sense. So I'm all for keeping costs low, keeping rates low, and providing services and getting our fair share for the South. So I'd appreciate your vote for mayor, and thanks for watching.